Hello Leo, and welcome to your November Insights video. This month we're doing things a little bit differently. Instead of me talking you through the ebb and flow of the lunar cycle from new moon to new moon like I usually do, this month we're going to focus on the three major transitions that are happening that will impact your birth chart for the 13-month and 18-month cycles to come. Of course, the big news is the node is leaving your sign, which may feel like a relief to many of you. But we've also got Jupiter heading into Sagittarius. We've got Uranus backtracking into Aries. So it's a huge time of change, particularly as these shifts happen within days of each other. You know, for all happening from the 6th to the 8th of November, and then we're going into the potent 11-11-11 energies. So it's an exciting time of change and transition, and particularly for yourself as Jupiter comes into your fellow fire sign, Sagittarius, which is very beneficial for all of us fire signs. We've been diving through the watery depths for quite some time now. We've had no planets in fire signs really, as Uranus went into Taurus as well in May. So it's a very exciting period. It's like almost like the phoenix rising for all of us, and new inspiration awakening. And this is particularly true for you, Leo, because Jupiter is going to head into your 5th house. So for the past 12 months, since October last year, Jupiter has been in Scorpio, which has been a very intense watery dive for many of us. And of course, Scorpio is one of the signs that naturally challenges Leo, so it makes it a little bit harder on you as well. And he has been moving through your 4th house, which is one of the deep subconscious houses of the birth chart. And of course, Scorpio is a very deep emotional sign. So it could have felt like a constant churning of old stuff, old memories, rising up. The 4th house of the birth chart is the womb space. It's the temple of Memnos. It's where we hold all of our cellular and ancestral memories. It's the house of Cancer, where the North Node is going to. The house of the moon, the house of the inner child, the house of the sacred inner temple. So this could have felt like a time when you really didn't feel like your usual bright, outgoing self, Leo. This could have been a time when you were really, deep within, doing your inner clearing and purification work, particularly with such an intense focus on your sign and your opposite sign over the summer. So things are really lightening up for you as Jupiter heads into the 5th house, the house that's naturally ruled over by Leo, naturally ruled over by the Soul Star. And of course, Sagittarius makes a lovely trine to Leo. So those of you who are early born Leo, in the first few days of Leo, will be receiving this trine as Jupiter moves on the 8th of November. And for all Leos, at some point over the next 13 months, you will receive that boost, which is lovely. But in general, this is like the fire of inspiration, the fire of self-worth, the fire of self-belief being reignited in you. The 5th house is all about creativity, creative self-expression, joy, abundance and love, all of those things that you are naturally geared towards as a Leonine soul. So it's a beautiful expansion of these energies. We might have to watch that we don't overindulge too much and go too much to excess, which is the shadow side of Jupiter. But in general, this can be a time of great productivity, of your creative endeavours being well received, a time of stepping into deeper levels of self-love. We know that is your soul lesson, Leo, is to learn how to love yourself, learn how to shine your unique individual radiance into the world in ways that serve others. So this is a great blessing for you. We also have Mercury going retrograde here in the first weeks of Jupiter's a dive into Sagittarius. So from the 16th of November to the 2nd of December, Mercury is going to be retrograding in this house of your birth chart. So it may feel, to start with, like things aren't moving very fast. Like, oh, okay, you know, I'm expecting this huge rush of energy and inspiration, but it's not quite coming yet. In fact, I actually feel a little bit worse about all of these areas of my life. But that is because Mercury is calling us to weed out any old belief systems, any old shadows around these areas of our lives, so that we can open up to receive the wisdom of Jupiter as the cycle unfolds. So don't be disheartened if it doesn't feel like that happens straight away for you, and know that, you know, those coals of rebirth, of regeneration are being stoked, and eventually they are going to blaze into a huge bonfire of passion, of excitement, of new opportunity and new life for you, Leo. So that's a really exciting thing, and that will be unfolding for you between November the 8th and December the 2nd, 2019. So it's a long period and a very, very exciting period compared to the one that you have just been through with Jupiter in the 4th house. So, of course, the other exciting change is that the node is leaving your sign. So the North Node has been in Leo since May 2017, which of course placed the South Node, the point of release, the point of letting go, in your house of relationship, the Aquarius house, the 7th house of the birth chart for you. And I know that this has been a very intense time for many Leos. We've had that huge eclipse in the 7th house, squaring Uranus, who's been in your 10th house of career and purpose. There's been a huge energy of transformation moving through the fixed signs this summer, and it could have felt like, you know, everything in your life is changing or being shook. So it's really nice to know that you've done the work now. You have hopefully learnt the lessons that the node has been teaching you in your sign and in your 7th sign, in your 7th house, sorry, and you have, you know, really come into balance with yourself and the other. You've learned about how to express yourself in relation to the people in your life. You know, you've learned to find that balance between independence and codependent, self versus other, intimacy and freedom. So now the node goes into Cancer, back into your 12th house. So this is a very watery, sensitive energy that you'll be working with for the next 18 months. And you can look back at 2000, 2001 to see the themes that were going through your life at that time, which was the last time that the node was in this space of your birth chart. And with Jupiter in the 5th house, you can look back to 2006 and see what was going on then. And, you know, we can see it often a repeat of the themes that were going on the last time the planets moved through these spaces. So the node in Cancer in the 12th house of spirituality, of connection, of karma and of release, and the South Node moving into Capricorn in your 6th house of purification, alongside Saturn and Pluto. So we know that this 6th house energy has been ongoing for you, and we've talked about that in previous videos. So the South Node coming into here can amplify that, you know, amplify that need to focus on the energies of detoxification, of structuring, of ordering, all of those beautiful Virgo qualities. So with this axis, the 6th and 12th house, we are really looking at issues around addictions, you know, subconscious stuff that is creating havoc in our physical life. You know, we're looking at the balance between the spiritual and the mundane, the thought patterns that are sabotaging us, the old emotional connections and ties that might be creating blockages or barriers or challenges in manifesting our purpose can also show up here. But this can also be a time of deep and profound spiritual growth. The 12th house is the Pisces house. It's the house where we come into union with the divine. It's the house where we merge with all that is, you know. So for yourself, Leo, this can be a time of huge spiritual awakening where you may find that your ability to meditate, to connect, to receive visions, to receive inspirations, to trust your intuition starts to enhance and expand. You know, you're really kind of in the psychic waters at this time, but we also need to make sure that we are doing the 6th house as well and grounding these inspirations into something tangible that can yield rewards for you, but also serve humanity as a whole as well. So this will be your point of expansion over the next 18 months. So this is really a time for you to really dive into your spiritual truth and what that might mean for you and how you can best use your spiritual gifts to create abundance, to create the life of your dreams, as it works in tandem with Jupiter in the 5th house. So we've also got Uranus, like I said, changing signs this month. He's going back into your 9th house, your Aries 9th house. So yeah, more fire energy. We like that. And he has been in Taurus since May the 15th. He's been, you know, crossing your midheaven, going into your 10th house of work, career, purpose, shaking things up there, you know, making you realise where the work you're doing isn't in alignment with your authentic soul, and making you realise where you're not free, you know, where you are doing things that you may not have your heart in order to create the money that you need to survive. So as he backtracks back into the 9th house, which is the house of higher wisdom, the house of belief systems, we can really start to look at between now and springtime next year when he moves back into Taurus. What are the belief systems that I still need to liberate myself from before I can move into this new vision, you know, before I can move into this new career, this new sense of purpose that is calling me, that I'm going to be working with, you know, up until 2026 as Uranus moves through this house and moves through Taurus. So it's a time of unchaining yourself from the fixed beliefs, the mental patterns that are holding you back from manifesting that career, that purpose that you are longing for. So it's a very interesting time of shift and change, and a very exciting time for you, Leo. I really feel like this is an energy, you know, this is a time of things lightening up for you after all that you have been through and all of the work that you've been putting in to shed the old, to let go of who you once were so you can become who you're meant to be. So I'm going to pick a card for you as well from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild, and I picked these, as I've been saying in the videos, because Uranus of course is the rebel of the cosmos and these cards are great for giving insights and clues of how to best proceed on your pathway of evolution, which is the focus with the node shifting signs. So let's pick a card for Leo. Interesting. So the card is She Feels, She Knows, and she's got a little peacock feather there, which always makes me think of Leo peacocks. So This card is about trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting what you know to be true. And it's very interesting because Sagittarius is all about truth, Jupiter is all about truth and integrity, and the North Node in Cancer is all about feeling, it's all about intuition. What do I feel in my gut? So if things are a little bit unclear as you go through this transitionary period, you know, it's a sign to really trust in what your intuition is saying. Trust in the guidance that you get from oracles. Trust in the guidance that you're getting through your meditations and your dreams and your visions. You know, this is a time of really stepping into that oracle energy for yourself. So keep a record of the intuitions that you have and see how they're manifesting as well, and then that will help you to develop more trust and more faith in your ability to know what is right for you. So thank you so much for listening to me, Leo. If you would like to connect with me further, you can check the links below this video for my Facebook page and group. I am wishing you such a blessed, fiery, inspirational November.